It's turn 7. We had 2 battles, one in Coast Haven. This is where Strongbad is leading his army forward. Alright, I'm actually a bit curious. Yeah. I lost 4 Abyssian infantries. 3 to heavy infantry and 1 to the archers. Those were probably the archers all mobbing one guy. Yeah, I mean, they're acceptable losses. I can replace Abyssian infantry, any fort can build them. I'm more concerned about lava warrior losses, but this army has 1 lava warrior left, so no matter. And there was a battle in Raume. Let's have a look at that one. This is Trogdor fighting the barbarians. They fell a lot of attacks because of the because they have a morale of 8, and I think with all you probably 11 or 12, I'm not sure. Anyway, they're at a severe disadvantage, so most of their attacks don't happen. And then they get burned and run away. Alright. Strongbad has become a famous hero. His valor is now the subject of bard stories. I think this gives him more leadership. Let's have a look. More morale. And more leadership as well. So I think he now has squad morale bonus of 2. Okay, that actually makes it quite useful to keep him alive. He will be able to lead quite a big army with quite a good morale boost. So not bad at all. Strongbad is moving his force onto this province, Temiglia, I guess. Yeah. Meanwhile, Baal Gorgon is trying to take Jinport. Jinport will probably also be a nice position for a fort, so then I end up with a fort here, here, and here, which can all reach each other in 1 turn, maybe 2 turns for some units, but when any of them get attacked, they will be able to get support from another fort quite quickly. I'm also considering to fortify Coast Haven, not entirely sure yet, maybe something for later. If I end up taking the throne in Fairy Forest, I will obviously also fortify it. Now, Trogdor is gonna attack these horse tribes, which looks a bit risky, but since he has the script to cast Skeletal Body, they will probably do very little damage against him. The new Anantmant Salamander I trained, Machette, is gonna lead his forces onto the islands. So hopefully Trogdor can take the difficult provinces and then he can clean up behind Trogdor, which will save some turns flying around. I am still training more Warlock apprentices. I consider switching to Warlocks, but I have a lot of buildings to build, so not yet. And just building the standard army of more of these lava warriors and more Abyssian infantry as well. Alright. Meanwhile, I have trained this guy, Nuvater, which is a horse tribe. Yes, a horse tribe chieftain, so moves around quickly. He will move into this province as well, with an order of fire and keep distance. Hopefully he will not get killed in this engagement, and then he can be building the fort. well, this army will be able to move on. Research is still going for alteration 3. With Dakil moving into here next turn, 2 turns after he will have the infrastructure up and we start recruiting the shamans. The research should be, let's see, 114, yeah, should be done by then as well, so then we start casting protection on armies. Yeah, meanwhile we'll see how much of this island we'll end up with. Hopefully we'll end up with this part. Possibly with some here, and I'm trying to clear out provinces around here as well, so that if we take this fort will have a lot of resources. Alright, that's it for turn 7, see you in turn 8. Welcome to turn 8. It looks like Ashdod has climbed the throne. We'll have a look at the throne later. There was a battle in Ard, let's have a look at that. So this is Trogdor burninating the horse tribe. They shoot at him, but he hardly does anything. I'm thinking maybe I should have called him to fire closest instead of just fire, because he appears to be picking his targets a little bit weirdly. No matter, it's still just a job. These guys have a morale of 11, which is actually above average, I suppose. Which means some attacks will get through the hull. But with a max hit points of 137 and 125 left, oh no, 121, he's fine. And everything runs away. Okay, then there's the Battle of Jinport. Let's see if everybody survives. So this was the place that has 5 knights. Lucky for me, the knights appear to be going straight for my infantry. Which, as you can imagine, doesn't really work out for them. And then the enemy archers proceed to shoot their own troops, so good for me. Yeah, this should work out fine. Alright, so that takes Jinport. Quite an important position, I'd say. And then there's the fight over Temiklia. First, we fight the independents with what remains of Torgor's army. Strong bad sword. Even though we're fighting in the snow, this seems to be going well enough. And then Uruk bumps with us again. This time with another group of mercenaries. These are Agarthan mercenaries. A squad which can actually go underwater. Which is what I would use them for, but no. Uruk decided to bump my army with them. No, these wet ones aren't the best frontline fighters, as you can see. So that went off without any losses for me. We got an unexpected event, 3 misfortune and 16 unrest over here. That sucks, but not much I can do about it. So the throne that was taken is, let's see, the Throne of War, which gives your troops, your blessed troops, 1 attack skill and 1 morale. I would have liked to have that. The attack skill would have been quite useful, the morale less so, but still. Anyway, we're gonna have to contest that throne later. For now, well, I think he can just have it. Trogdor is attacking into this province, which is militias and heavy infantry, so he'll burn the militia and the heavy infantry will probably run away because of all the dead militia. Masset is moving another force in here in order to clean up everything behind Trogdor. Baal Gorgon is moving into Tiadir. Let's have a look. This can be 50 Ictiads, which could be a problem, but I don't think so. And Nuvater, the commander we built, is building a fortress in Jinpart, so we have a nice triangle of forts here. I am not touching the throne in Orman for now. I think, judging by the amount of stuff in there, it's the Throne of Life. Which I would definitely like to have, but I don't feel like fighting 310 units right now. Meanwhile, I am recruiting another horse tribe chief over here. He can go pick up troops here and move them with my other armies, because they're getting depleted and I don't feel like training any more salamanders here. Also, Strongbad is moving into this province. Research is still 2 months out. We're building the lab. Next month we're building the temple, so that should match up nicely. And another Warlock Apprentice here, and I'm just gonna repeat full stacks of these guys, 9 guys every turn. Alright, that's it for turn 8. See you in turn 9. Welcome to turn 9. Let's start off with some battles. There's a battle in Tirdir. This is where the somewhat depleted expensive party is fighting some Ictiads, which appear to be spamming cold bolts. I think we're in neutral temperature and they still do not like fire. Nor do they really have ability to do much damage against these plated troops. So we end up taking the province at no losses actually. That was a Ictiad shaman, funnily enough. Then there was a battle in Chibia. Let's have a look at that. So this is Strongbad, which was left of the initial army. It has served us quite well though. So yeah, they do some poison damage with coral spears, but looks like most of my army pulls through. 3 losses though. Abyssian infantries again. Unfortunate. And then there's the last battle in Bolfakan. Let's have a look at that one. This is Trogdor fighting standard human army. Yeah, Strucker doing what he does best, burninating the peasants. An unexpected event in Panopia. More unrest and misfortune. In Rame. More unrest and a magic skill, and in the Larian swamps we lost a lot of dominion and got some turmoil. Now, we already maxed out turmoil, so that doesn't really matter, and the dominion is too bad. It's right next to the capital, so it compacts. One thing I forgot to tell last turn is that here in Borale I'm building a fort. The reason is that Borale has these shortbowmen, and usually shortbowmen are nothing special. However, these guys come with a plate cuirass and an iron cap. And they have the exact same gold cost, just a higher resource cost. So these are plate mailed shortbowmen, which mean that if they have a archery fight with other archers, they just flat out win. Because if you shoot at 14 protection with a short bow, it doesn't do all that much. Well, an enemy shortbowman is gonna have 7 protection. So they will win out against other shortbowmen quite well. On top of that, I am gonna cast flaming arrows. So yeah, that's great. I want as many of these troops as I can get. Then Trogdor is gonna expand into this province, because when he does, that means we lock out these two and we can take them at our leisure. Machet is gonna move into Fon. This shouldn't be a big deal for him. And then maybe we can combine on the throne at some point. I would like to have this throne because Uruk is right here, and I found out that Ashdod is right here. So if I can pick off the throne between them, that will be quite nice. And, well, if these were human players, that might annoy them, but I don't think the AI actually thinks that way. Yeah, this force from Theodir is moving back because they are too depleted. As you can see, only 10 of them left, most of them wounded. Meanwhile, this guy Norak is moving back into Abysia, where he can pick up a nice amount of troops. There will be 27 of them when he arrives. He can move them there, and we can just use everything to try to take over Knies Plain. I think 30 heavy cav and heavy inf will not withstand more than 27 infantry all we bring in. So that's quite good. In the meantime, he can go build a temple or a lab over here. With a temple we could get priests, and priests are actually quite nice to have. Of course, they're really cheap. Well, 60 golds, 24 gold upkeep, so 2 gold a turn. And they will have 80 undead leadership because of my blessing. Which is something I want. Unfortunately, well, these are longbowmen. Longbowmen are also nice, but in a different way. However, no, they're the same upkeep. Yeah, I could consider longbowmen instead, but their armor is kind of disappointing. I am also building a fort in Coast Haven, because I can afford it, and I will keep conquering lands, I will keep increasing my income, and if I have a fort in Coast Haven, if anybody on this side starts fighting me, at least I won't roll over all my land that easily. So it will be a nice thing to have, although I will probably not be putting a lab and a temple in here anytime soon. It's gonna be lab and temple here first, probably then here, maybe here after all if I can take it, and possibly on the throne depending on what throne it is. But having a few extra forts for troop recruitment won't be a bad idea, I suppose. Meanwhile, research is gonna be Alt 3 next turn, which will be great. Same turn as the temple is finished, and the palisade coincidentally. So, Deer Tribe Shaman recruitment starts next turn, and They will be useful next turn as well, but I'll have to wait 2 turns for the first Deer Tribe Shaman. However, they will make quite a difference for small expansion parties and small raiding parties later on. So having a healthy supply of Deer Tribe Shaman is going to be very useful. Okay. That is it for turn 9. See you in turn 10. Welcome to turn 10. So the research and alteration is complete. This means that we can soon start using our Nature 1 mages when we have them. There is a battle in Von. I think we know how these things go by now. Then there's also the battle in Cormark. This is where Trogdor is on the attack again. And the construction of the palisade in Kepas has also been completed. So now that this place has all the infrastructure, I'm starting the construction of Deer Tribe Shamans. Also upgrading this place to a fortress so that soon the production of these Shamans will accelerate. Now I am moving Trogdor into the throne in the hope of taking it. Meanwhile, Mashet is moving into this province, which should give us a nice border with Uruk, I suppose. Norak is moving reinforcements into here, while Balgorgon builds a temple. Strongbad is trying to expand one more time against the sturdy Lion tribe. After this, I think his army is just too depleted to do anything. But we should try to get everything out of it that it has. I'm also moving the Keel down here so he can build a lab, and Balgorgon can take the army and move it against the heavy cavalry here. I'm still recruiting and still training Warlock apprentices. Next turn, which is turn 11, which is the end of winter, I shall be training a higher level mage, but not until then. Palisades are being built here and here. Yes, that's fine. So yeah, that's it for turn 10. Welcome to turn 11, last turn for this video. We researched Blood Magic 1 and now we're going to research into Conjuration. There was a battle in Shadowglade. Here we have Strongbad, which was left of his army, fighting a bunch of Lion tribe. The Lion tribe are probably the weakest of all tribes. So that worked out, losing one guy, fair enough. Then there's a battle in Farron Mountains. This is the throne. But it's only guarded by militia and a priest. Sometimes thrones are scary, sometimes not at all. It's a bit hard to predict. Then there is Uruk taking over and Kirna. Weird name. Lots of things have weird names in this game. So yes, this is an army. this is the Pretender with a lot of hit points and quite some magic paths as well. These guys are actually quite nasty. They have longbows and decent armor too. So yeah, not really Pretender that is completely solid. Then our little expansion force moves into a game, huh? In the snow, mind you. I can already tell you this does not go. They hold their own reasonably well against their infantry, but their infantry are also berserkers. So this is not an easy fight for them. But then there's the Pretender. I think he tramples, yeah, he just oh, that does not go well at all. They lose 6 guys and we lose the entire expansion party. Unfortunate. An unexpected event occurred in Boral. Some fire gems and some astropulse. Always nice. An unexpected event in Von, which is minus 10 profit income. I think this is permanent, so not so nice. Yeah, the border with Uruk didn't turn out as well as I hoped. I wish I'd taken this, but they did. Well, it is very close to their capital, so it's understandable. Meanwhile, Strongbad is moving into here, into a mill, and Norak is moving here as well. With half of the forces he brought in, they can combine with Strongbad, and then Strongbad can probably move into these 3 provinces, rounding out this part of the empire nicely. Meanwhile, Dakil has taken over the expansion because Gorgon got a disease and is not long for this world. Disease basically means that you lose 20% of your hit points every turn until they're gone. So he can just sit here, build a lab and spend a few turns researching or preaching or something. It's too bad, but that's the problem with winter and old people. There's not much you can do. So Dakil's taking over and taking this province with the heavy cav. So we have a nice amount of provinces around this fort that's being built. Should be finished next turn, yes. And then we can build some infantry. Because of this, and I was already considering it, my first war is probably going to be with Uruk. So I've started building some Abyssian troops here. It's not going to be fast, but some extra troops on top of what I'm getting out of the capital should be really nice. I will probably be having to fight them on 2 fronts, one of them being on the island, one of them being on the mainland here. Which is not ideal for me because the mobility of my units is very bad. I, of course, have Trogdor, he has great mobility, but they have their god, and I do not know if Trogdor can actually go up against this. Let's have a look at what his stats actually are. Let's see. 17 protection, a hoof, and he's a size 6 trampler, but Trogdor is also size 6. With these spots, Trogdor has the firebread. Yeah, I think Trogdor could take him in a 1-on-1 fight actually. 1 morale, reinvigoration, and a penetration bonus. These gems probably won't do much so early in the game. Yeah, I think in a straight up fight, and he has a limp, which doesn't really matter all that much, Trogdor should be able to take on this Yamuta thing. But I have no idea if it's going to come to that, because it's never a straight up fight, there's always troops involved, and I do not want to risk losing Trogdor. Alright. So meantime, we've started to recruit another warlock, because the events of late winter where people get sick have already happened. And fortunately for us, Strongset didn't get sick. This guy did, but that's okay. Strongset didn't get sick, so I should be able to use him next year for an entire year. This new warlock should be good at least. Which means we can probably start doing some site searching. Yes, and with all the movement and construction, that's pretty much it. I'm spreading scouts around to keep an eye on my neighbors. If an army is moving my way, I want to know about it before it arrives. And with that, that's enough for turn 11. See you in the next video.